morning, everybody. Whether you're on the East Coast, West Coast, or around the world, this is Coast to Coast. And, of course, we got the Philly guy driving around fully geared up. Let's go.
Yeah, I was filming for Fox Sports today, doing my favorite singing impression on the oldest stage in the United States. The Walnut Street Theater in Philadelphia is the oldest continuously operating theater in Philadelphia.
Nice.
Okay.
So, and they have it.
There you go.
So, yeah. And now I have an interview at 2:00. I'm going to go film another commercial. I'm going to be doing some songs for some artists. So I'm going to be like singing and dancing and speaking all day long.
Right on.
Nice.
Just out there doing a jig.
Something like a Christmas jig, nonetheless.
Gonna be the Philly sports guy shuffle.
Yes.
Exactly. Wow, there's some traffic here. So there you go. Thank God
Right
I'm
on.
paying attention to traffic and not you guys.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's probably for the best. Don't need to stack it up on camera.
Oh yeah, especially since the cars that just walked by or just drove by that were being towed by look exactly like they didn't stop.
That'll happen. We have Thursday night football tonight. Obviously, Seahawks Rams, and huge game.
Division championship game, number 1 seed game.
Exactly. Yeah, it's going to be a huge one. Obviously, the Rams have a little bit going on in the issue with Devontae Adams is doubtful to play. Hasn't been officially ruled out or anything, but at least as of yet. I didn't look just before we got on show, but he was still listed as questionable last night.
Right.
So
yeah, I after seeing that, I can't imagine he's going to play.
Mm-hmm.
And if he is, it's that's just a decoy, I think.
Yeah, that's just not Yeah, he's still listed as doubtful. So with a hamstring, I doubt he plays. But
yeah.
But you don't rule him out because then.
Now you guys see me. I'm gonna camera off so I can just put the phone down. You'll hear me.
There you go. Yeah, hopefully it'll keep your stream connected a little better too. So, or maybe he's done.
So, anyways, no, I hear you. I hear you guys.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think this game tonight is ultimately going to come down to Sam Darnold. He's 1-4 against the Rams in his career.
Yep.
He's 0 for his last 3, going back to the 2 losses that he had last year, and then losing the first game against the Rams this year. But it's the performance outside of that. He's in those 5 starts. He's got 7 touchdowns and 13 interceptions. Like, this is the one team that makes him see ghosts again. The offensive line play against him last year got him crushed. This year it was just kind of more of the same. Like, this is the one team that he's had a very difficult time figuring out.
Yeah, no, he struggles with the Rams. I don't necessarily think it's a Rams thing. I think it's the fact that they have an incredible ability to get pressure on the quarterback. And that is where, we've seen him struggle through his whole career.
Mm-hmm.
Whether he was playing well or not, if you can get pressure on Sam, that's where things unravel a little bit. And there's going to be opportunities. Obviously the defensive line gets home anyway, but they're going to be without Charles Cross, their tackle.
Yeah.
So he is officially ruled out with a hamstring of his own. That's a big loss. So not only are you going to have the issue with blocking as far as interior line, but now one of your tackles is going to be out. So he's going to have to be really focused on getting the ball out quick because the Rams are going to be able to get home. So he's going to have to figure out, how to use the tight ends a little more effectively and really dial in on those short routes, because otherwise he's going to spend a lot of time in the grass.
I mean, not having Cross is obviously going to hurt the Seahawks, but the Rams are also – Braden Fisk is questionable. Braden Fisk is one of the Rams' better pass rushers. He's questionable, but even if he plays, he's not going to be 100% either. So that's going to at least kind of nullify the pass rusher a little bit, not to the point where it's going to be, oh, Darnold's going to torch the defense now because they can't get to the quarterback because they still have 3 other guys that can get after him.
Yeah, and Fisk is going to play. I know he's listed as questionable, but it's an ankle injury. It's not a muscle or soft tissue. So they're just going to tape the hell out of that thing, and he's going to play. I will be really surprised if for some reason he's not out there.
I think he'll play. I just don't think he'll be as effective this game as he was the first game, just because he's not going to be 100%.
Realistically, because it's an ankle injury, I would bet that they scheme some stuff to make it so he doesn't have to move laterally as much to get in. So they're probably going to do some crosses and stunts that allow straighter shot than otherwise maybe he would normally.
Okay.
Just to take some pressure off of that ankle. But I would not be surprised if he still is effective out there.
Yeah.
Especially if he's lining up against a backup tackle.
Right.
So, don't know where Jay is. Missing in action.
Is the game in Seattle tonight, or is that LA?
It is here, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It's a home game. The other thing is, so this is the final Thursday Night Football Sports Bar Series event at Crucible. It also is the final day of our Toys for Tots drive. So if you are in the Seattle area, definitely come out for the final show. Thursday Night Football, obviously it's the Seahawks, and bring a new unwrapped toy to Crucible Brewing in Everett off Everett Mall Way, and you get your second beer for free. So come out, hang out for the last one of these.
This might be a dumb question for you, but since we've gone to the Thursday night started, 2009 is when Thursday night game started, wasn't it?
No, so they were before then. It just wasn't consistent.
It wasn't 2009, the first year that it started, every week.
That sounds about right.
Is this the first year
I couldn't tell you the exact date, but that sounds about the right era.
Is this the first time that it's actually ended in where the last Thursday night game was week 16?
It's not.
No,
the last Thursday night game
actually
is
the last
week.
Thursday night. Next week is. I'm just not doing anything on Christmas Day.
Yeah, but Christmas Day has a 3 games though, instead of there, because this is the first time that Christmas is going with that 3 game set like Thanksgiving is. Because usually it's the week before.
So there's still technically a Thursday Night Football. I believe it's being played on Friday.
Okay.
No, it's being played on Thursday. That's the third game. The first.
There's 3 games.
Okay. It was last year.
Netflix.
It was last year that the Thursday night game was Friday.
Okay.
But in any event, it doesn't officially end until next week. I'm not going to the bar on Christmas Day for a multitude of reasons. One of them, I don't want my wife to stab me.
Is it even open on Christmas Day?
What's that?
Is the bar even open on Christmas Day?
No, it won't be. That was going to be one of the other reasons. It's not even an option. But even if it was an option, I would not be there.
My bar is open on Christmas Day. On Christmas Day, if you come into my living room, I will be bartending, and I bartend on Christmas Day.
Okay.
Are you open all day, or do you just shorten up your hours?
We opened at obviously 4 or 5 o'clock, maybe 6 o'clock. It's 4 o'clock is the soft opening.
Oh, okay.
Regular patrons who there's a few of us that don't have families that they really can go to and whatever. So a couple of us will just kind of come in from 4 to 6, and then 6 o'clock it's open to everybody. Because I don't want to make sure somebody's at the bar and not at their families.
Well, this is interesting news that I just had come through my phone.
Okay.
So not Adam Schefter. ESPN was just having an interview with Adam Silver, who basically said that once the NBA Finals end this June, is when he's going to decide on what cities get the expansion and when the expansion starts.
Yeah.
He also just said that there's going to be significant changes coming to the in-season NBA Cup next year. And one of those changes is going to be the NBA Cup Finals, which will not be played in Las Vegas next year, but instead will be played at Cameron Indoor Stadium at Duke University.
That's weird.
So I don't know if his plan now is to start moving maybe some of these games to college venues.
That seems odd.
Yeah, especially when T-Mobile Arena holds 16,000 and Cameron holds 8,900.
That just sounds like a cost decision.
Mm-hmm.
Like T-Mobile was like, hey, we want to jack this price up. I don't know. That's weird. That's weird.
Could be a fun environment. Could be a fun environment, though.
Well, the other thing is that might be tipping their hand that Vegas is getting a team.
That's kind of what I'm thinking.
And
because
if that's the case, then they can't have the cup there if there's a potential that they have a home game there.
Yep, that's kind of what I'm thinking. If they're already talking about moving the championship rounds next year, then you can kind of pretty much see like, oh, Vegas is getting a team, so we can't keep playing that end here.
Yeah, I mean, Vegas getting a team is almost a slam dunk. Like you're almost positive that's going to happen. Seattle getting one is a little more of a question, and only because the current and past commissioners don't love Seattle for whatever reason.
Didn't they say, though, the only way they would bring a team back to Seattle was if they either built or refurbished the arena they had to make it up to the standards of the league now? Well, they have a hockey team now, so the arena is obviously up to the standards.
Oh, they rebuilt that stadium.
Yeah.
They did years ago now.
Yeah.
So
they can't use that as an excuse anymore. That was their old excuse why Seattle wasn't getting a team for a while. Was, it's got to get rebuilt up to standards. Can't use that as an excuse no more.
Yeah, so for whatever reason, the last two commissioners really just hate Seattle. And I'm not really sure what the issue is, but there is one. And they haven't been real secretive about that fact. So, yeah, it's weird. But that being said, there is some real question if Seattle actually gets one.
Still one of my favorite old school NBA logos, though.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, and it's funny because Seattle's such a good sports town. Like, I don't know what the issue is there, but it's weird because I mean, even when you're going to Storm games, I mean, those are, almost sold out every game. And
like obviously, like most sports, you want like rivalries and things like that.
Sure.
Like Seattle had the Vancouver Grizzlies when they first came into the league as kind of a smaller rival just because it's close.
The biggest rivalry was the Lakers.
Yeah, but now, like, you look at how things are now, Seattle would rival very well with the Portland Trailblazers now.
Now, for whatever reason, that was never a big...
I think it would be now, though. Maybe more so than it was, like, in the past. I think it would be now, like, those two would actually rival each other a little bit more now.
Well, doesn't Portland suck?
That's what I'm saying, though. Like, if you get an expansion team in Seattle...
It's not a rivalry if one team is just...
Well, no, but if you get an expansion team in Seattle, like, Seattle's essentially starting over. So
of course.
You can't expect Seattle to be good right out of the gates. Like, some of these expansion teams in the NHL have been and vice versa. Like, you can't expect Seattle to come into the league and win 50 games right away. No one's expecting them to lose 60 games either. So if they come into the league and they're competitive and maybe, like, just missing the playoffs and winning, like, 35-ish games or whatever, you have a rebuilding team in Portland, that's going to just make that rivalry a little bit better right out of the gates because now Portland has a team that's close where they can travel to, just not all the Portland games all the time.
I would bet based on history, it would still be...
It would still be the Lakers, yeah. And Oklahoma City Thunder.
That is a built-in one.
Mm-hmm. I will get some ugly games.
If there was ever a game where fans get into it, it's that game. Like, that will be the game where fans potentially get in some fights in the first few years. So,
how would they do the draft on that?
It'd be it'd be the top two teams for, like, are you talking the NBA draft?
Well, not only that, but like Are they going to have like, hey, every team has got to, you're able to protect 3 players,
It'd be probably
and
2
everybody
players.
else is open. And then once you have a player chosen from that team, you are eliminated from having a second player chosen, and they get to choose like from 8 players, each from 16 different teams.
It'd probably be set up like the NHL expansion draft when they had that, except instead of protecting 3 players, each team could probably protect 2 because you have less players on a roster.
Well, no, so you probably would get a protect 3, and the only reason I say that is you have two teams coming in.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
So they probably would. It would
Yeah.
probably be just like the NHL draft.
And then once the NBA draft starts, then those teams would get the first 2 picks automatically because they're coming into the league.
Right, but you think about that, like teams like OKC, like Knicks, like those teams are going to have like 4 or 5 players. Your 4th and 5th player that you can't protect is going to be gone. It's going to be plucked. So you're only allowed to. And I'd say that once you get a player plucked, you are out. You can't have a second player plucked.
Yep.
I mean, not that I am silver, but
I mean, it's gonna that's a good way too to help teams get competitive right away. Because if you're getting, like you said, you pluck a player, you're done or whatever. But if they get the first 2 picks of the expansion draft, they're gonna be able to add right away. Then they're getting the first 2 picks in the NBA draft. Three of the first players you get, are going to be starters from day 1, most likely. And there's a chance that 3 of them are actually legitimate NBA caliber players that can help your team win right away. It's not going to be the role players.
Well, the truth of the matter is that if you have every team protecting 3 players,
Mm-hmm.
You're going to have a lot of really good 4th and 5th players on those teams.
Plus,
you put them together, all of a sudden now you've got a real chance.
Yeah, that's why I said when it comes to expansion teams, I don't think baseball might be the only one where if they get an expansion team that expansion team is terrible right out the gates. But if you get an expansion NBA team, I would not be shocked if they're winning 35, 36 games right away. They might not make the playoffs, but they're still going to be competitive enough because you look at the players they'd be able to add through the expansion draft and then where they're picking in the NBA draft. They'd be at least able to acquire a lot of decent talent right away and then just a year later start building up the roster from there.
Yeah.
Baseball is just such a crapshoot, though, with how many drowns you have in the baseball draft and just the minor league system. You add an expansion team for baseball and put them in an expansion draft, it's still not going to matter. That's a team that's going to take 5 or 6 years to even get their roster sustainable.
Well, that's because in baseball, your draft, your guys aren't going straight to the team.
Yeah,
they're
that's
all going
why
to different levels of minor league systems. Basketball, outside of the first round, just about everybody's going to G League stuff. I mean, so it's not like football where
there's nothing.
You're 3 rounds deep, and most of those guys are going to be at least active on the roster.
And then a good chance, some of them are actually not only active but contributing in some aspect.
Well, no, that's what I mean. They're active, they're getting on the field. So, it's just wildly different from football. But I don't know. It's going to be
2 games. If they expand 2 teams, they're going to have to do it after the lockout, right after the lockout, when you have all of those free agents. And you could for baseball.
Yeah, that's why they're saying 2028 is the year they're talking, just because that's when Manfred's current contract is up, is 2028. That would be the year after the lockout is done in 2027. The new CBA would be reset. If it's agreed upon by then, it would be reset and everything would be taking place. Then you just throw those 2 expansion teams in 2028 and bring them in the league in 2030 or whenever you want to start it.
Got you. I'm going to go offline for a minute, and I'll be right back.
Cool.
And then, baseball's the same as basketball too. Seattle's pretty much, like you said, Seattle's been pretty much talked about getting an expansion team for years. Versus Vegas is the one team where it's pretty much, I think, a done given that Vegas is getting one. Yep. Then you go to the baseball side of things. Montreal is kind of in the same position that Seattle is, where they've been talking about getting an expansion team back in Montreal since they left, and from all accounts, I think that is the one market in baseball that's guaranteed to get a team is Montreal because they want another team up in Canada.
Yep.
But then you have like Charlotte, Nashville, Portland, and up until Vegas with the A's relocating. They're like those are the four cities along with Montreal that have kind of been like talked about the last 5 years, or it's just like a matter of time where they decide who it's going to go. But it's going to be Montreal and somebody that's going to get the expansion team in MLB when they get that far. Like Montreal, they're not going to say no. They spent $600 million renovating that old stadium they played in. The history of the Expos is actually really good history up until they left from Washington. Like they want that other team up in Canada with the Blue Jays. They're not going to tell Montreal you can't have one.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think Montreal probably is a slam dunk there. Obviously, on the basketball side, Vegas is.
Yeah.
And really to drive home how much the top end doesn't like Seattle for basketball. Again, doesn't make sense because people show up to those games. So, I mean, it didn't make any sense to me at all. But they blocked the move of the Kings coming up here.
Mm-hmm. And it's the history that technically doesn't even exist.
No, exactly.
That's how you can tell the NBA hates Seattle, because they don't even let the history of that organization exist anymore versus the Montreal Expos. Right. The Nationals took the Expos, but the Expos still own the colors. The Expos still own the logos, and all the history is still recognized by the Expos. Like the Nationals didn't take the history from the Expos, so if they come back, the history just gets put back in place as if they never left.
Yeah, whereas for Seattle, they're like, you guys never had a team. You get to have your logos, but you've never had a team. And
you never had John Kemper, Gary Payton, or any of those guys here. They never played here.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they played in OKC based on the record books, which is wild.
Ray Allen, Rasheed Lewis, all those guys, they played in OKC. They never played here.
Yep.
You didn't face Michael Jordan in the finals here. You faced him as OKC.
Well, and it's funny because they always do like an exhibition game here too. And every year there's an NBA exhibition game. The thing sells out, right? Every time. And still, they're just like, yeah, we don't know if Seattle's the right market. It's like, oh, okay.
Somebody from Seattle had to piss in the commissioner's Cheerios one day, and it's just kind of still sitting with him like, they did that to me. I don't want to ever go back there.
Yeah, but I mean, so you're talking about two commissioners deep now.
Yeah, I know, but it's just like they pissed in one of the commissioner's Cheerios, and then that guy got salty. Then he told the next commissioner, like, they did this to me. I don't ever want to go back there.
Yeah, well, I mean, they were friends, so. I mean, what was I don't know why I'm mind blanking the commissioner before him.
David Stern.
Stern. There we go. Yeah. So Silver was Stern's like little stooge.
Yeah.
So everything that Stern hated, Silver hates, even though he wasn't involved in it.
Well, that's it, because they pissed in David Stern's Cheerios, and then he told Silver about it, and Silver hates him just because of it.
Yeah, no, that's exactly it.
You did that to my favorite person. How dare you?
It's why I'm not convinced Seattle gets one. Vegas gets one. Like that is, I feel like that's a foregone conclusion. Right. That one's going to happen.
I guarantee if you let the owners
I don't know
vote,
that Seattle gets one, even though it's the best market for it.
I guarantee if you let the owners vote, like, so if the NBA picked one city, we'll say the NBA picks Vegas as the city the NBA wants to go to. And if the NBA said, well, the owners are going to vote on, I know it would never happen, but if the NBA would go like the owners can vote on that second expansion city, bet you 90% of the owners would vote Seattle.
Oh, even the players want a team back.
Yeah, that's what I said. So the NBA knows
the owners want it back.
That's why the NBA knows they would lose.
It's literally the front office of the NBA that has blocked us getting a team for 20 years.
Yep, the NBA knows they would lose that battle if they put it in like the owner's hands, like where that second franchise would go, and it's just like, well, that backfired. I guess we're going to Seattle. Yeah,
no. They are not going to do that. If they put one here, they want it to be like, oh, we're doing y'all a favor. But no, I mean, when it comes to player support, there's a ton of that. Ownership support, obviously the fan base wants it back. Like all of that says Seattle should get a team back. But the front office is the one that pulls the strings there. So Because the NBA doesn't care what the what the teams want. They want TV markets and stuff like that. So yeah, they don't really care.
Yeah.
That'd be like making huge company-wide expansion decisions in a normal business, and then asking your, low to mid-level employees what they think of the situation. You're not asking them because you don't care. So.
Oh, I forgot there was new teams in the UFL this year. Now that we were talking about expansion.
Oh well, they're just moving.
Yeah,
they're not really new teams. They're just moving to new locations. There are a couple of name changes, I believe.
Yeah, Columbus Aviators, Louisville Kings, and the Orlando Storm.
Yeah, they opted to not actually grow the league. Originally, they were talking about adding 2 teams back.
They still will, I think. I still think Seattle, because it's still 8 teams.
No. So they were talking about doing it this year, and they're not.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to get to the 12 teams, what the original goal was. I think it's going to get to 10, and if it does get to 10, I think Seattle will get 1, and then somebody out east will get another one.
So I don't think so, because that would make it the only team out west. So based on what it sounds like today, is they're more focused on the movement of the teams and not growing teams. So it sounds like it's still going to be a regional thing, going to stick with the 8 teams. But they won't put a team back in Seattle until either Vegas or LA get a team. Which
is why they should have kept it when you had the UFL and the USFL on their own. Each league had 8 teams. Just combine it into one 16-team league. You would have had 6 out west.
That's what everybody thought was going to happen. So, because you're like, okay, you're going to have the USFL versus the XFL, right? Obviously, there was going to be a couple of teams that would disappear because there was 2 teams in Houston, and there was another team that was couldn't find a stadium in what would be their home area.
Yeah, New Orleans Breakers was the one that couldn't find a stadium because the Saints didn't want them to use the Superdome, and then they didn't want to use Tulane because it gets hotter than heck down there.
Yeah, so there was a couple of teams that were going to go away anyway, so it's going to be like a 14-team league.
Yeah.
And then financially, they're just like, hey, we're going to make this a regional sport, and they got rid of basically the East Coast and the West Coast.
Mm-hmm.
So, but they didn't grow enough, especially with teams moving locations. So it's just going to be another 8-team league again. Hopefully it's a little more entertaining to watch this time around.
I mean, there's 2 new coaches. AJ McCarron, who was the old St. Louis Battlehawks quarterback, has now taken over for Birmingham.
Yep.
And Ted Ginn Jr. has been hired by Columbus, which makes a ton of sense because he played college football at Ohio State, which is in Columbus. So that is a very well-known name in the Columbus, Ohio area when it comes to football in that state.
Yeah, well, and I know there was going to be some coaching changes anyway, not just because the teams moved, but a couple of the coaches that were there last year, as I recall, are back in the NFL ranks. Mm-hmm. So, the coach for the DC Defenders is now
Pep Hamilton.
The Bears.
Pep Hamilton, are you talking?
No. I don't know why I'm mind blanking his name offhand. I actually had him on my show.
Shannon Harris is the coach for the DC Defenders. Oh, Reggie Barlow.
Yes, there we go.
Yeah, because Reggie Barlow stepped down after 3 games last year, and Shannon Harris took over, and then they just appointed Shannon Harris the full-time coach this year.
Yeah, that's because Barlow is back with the Bears now, so he made it back into the NFL.
Yep, and then Bob Stoops just retired from the Dallas Renegades, I think, over the weekend.
Oh, okay.
So they'll need a new coach now in Renegades.
I gotcha.
I'm back in, guys. Sorry.
And there's a chance that Anthony Beck might be leaving the St. Louis Battlehawks, too.
Yeah, I imagine there's going to be some coaching movement before that season kicks off.
Anthony Beck might be going to college at Iowa State now that Matt Campbell took the Penn State job. Because that's where his son just played quarterback at Rockelbeck. And I know Anthony Beck was trying to get on the Iowa State staff the last couple of years, but he ended up just staying in the XFL. But now that Matt Campbell left, Beck might try to get that Iowa State job.
I gotcha.
Anthony
Yeah,
Beck, the tight end.
Yeah,
was
the old Rams tight end. Yeah, the old Rams tight end. That's the Battlehawks head coach right now.
Yeah, I was really hoping they were going to add a couple of teams, just to make it a little more interesting. But
I'm surprised Chicago hasn't tried to get one. Honestly,
well, that's the thing is I don't think they're really trying to stay on this little corridor that they're on,
yeah.
which is why you don't have any Florida teams back. You don't have
Well, I think you have Orlando, but that's it.
Oh, that's right. There is one moving back in there. Yeah.
Well, they have gotten smart though, because now they've gone away from all the NFL stadiums, and they're bringing it into like the MLS stadiums and these smaller stadiums. That way, if you only have 14,000 people at a game, 14,000 people in a 20,000 seat stadium looks a lot better than 14,000 people in a 70,000 seat stadium.
Yeah, that was what was so weird about them getting rid of Seattle, because they filled out.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they were in a big stadium, and
they only opened it up for what 40,000 seats, and they said they were averaging like 32,000 in attendance. So like 32,000 out of 40,000 seats open, it's a good crowd.
It's a great crowd. Yeah.
Same thing with like the Battlehawks. Like they only opened that dome for 40,000 seats. They average like 34,000. San Antonio Brahmas only open like 35,000 seats in the Alamo Dome, but they're getting close to 30,000. Like those three teams are the ones that make up for the attendance across the league.
Yeah, no, that's why I thought it was so crazy they got rid of Seattle's team, just because it was one of their best attended teams.
Mm-hmm.
Probably because they weren't making any of the money, that it was costing them all the money. That there was probably like 34,000 was the number they had to hit.
Well, I mean, you knew that it was a logistical thing, right? Like it was the flights and all of that. That's why they made it a regional thing. It's why they got rid of New York and Florida and all of that. They wanted to have this little corridor of bus traffic, essentially.
Yeah.
Because the teams all follow basically two highways. So
get on it.
I mean, kind of, right? So, I mean, I get it. It's a startup league. You're trying to save money and whatever, but eliminating fan bases isn't generally great either. Although the viewership, attendance-wise on TV, became pretty solid last year.
You did.
So they got to be happy with that. It does help that Fox is a partial owner. So, the TV contract was probably pretty easy to negotiate.
Right.
Plus, The Rock has got billions of dollars, so why not?
Yeah, it's funny because The Rock seems really good at promoting him. He seems less great at promoting a product.
Yeah.
Well, I know that it was the worst entrance into Super Bowl history when he tried to do the hype up.
When he looked like a grape.
Was he all in purple? Is that the?
He was.
Yeah, he had like a purple suit on. Yeah.
It was very weird.
Super Bowl. I'm like,
yeah.
What the frig are you doing? In fact, even Joe Burrow's like, why is he out there?
Yeah. Yeah. No, that was a hilarious clip because he's like, yeah, why is he out there? He's like, I do like his shoes though. That's how you know that hype speech is going well when they're like, yeah, I don't know, just like his shoes are cool. Like,
yeah, it's gonna be similar. It's gonna be similar to the halftime show for the Christmas Day game. Snoop Dogg's got it. He's gonna come out with some interesting outfits in that game.
Yeah, he'll at least be entertaining though.
He will be,
and he'll actually just be out there in a jersey, like
in a jersey, probably have a joint rolled up in his ear, ready to light it up.
And we share a birthday.
I doubt that'll happen.
We have the same birthday.
You and Snoop?
Me and Snoop.
Nice.
Oh, funny.
So how do you like your free agent pickup yesterday, Pegs?
Which one was that?
Keller.
For?
Well, he was with the Cubs last year, but you signed him to a 2-year, $22 million deal yesterday.
He's the pitcher, right?
Yeah. That's probably one of the best relievers on the market that you could have had. It sucks that we didn't bring him back.
Yeah, I was gonna
Well,
say I didn't even see that one.
relief was a problem.
He's actually not going there for relief.
Yeah.
He's
That
going to be a
was-
closer.
No. So the key to the whole thing was he wanted an opportunity to be a starting pitcher again because that's what he came into the league as. And the Cubs said they weren't going to guarantee him a spot in the rotation because they have 6 or 7 starters deep right now. So Philly signed him to a 2-year, $22 million deal and said, you can compete for a starting job in spring. If you get it, you get it. If not, you're still going to the bullpen. So the Phillies are giving him the opportunity to earn a rotation spot, knowing that right now the Phillies only have like 2 or 3 committed starters for next year.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out, like, I mean, I guess they're still nervous about Wheeler.
They're nervous about Wheeler and then not having what's his name, Suarez. So they're already going to be down.
Well,
for sure.
Suarez hasn't signed yet, and that is interesting to me. So, and I'm sure that has to do with his agents.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's Boris' thing.
Mhm.
But I think he likes it here.
I do too.
So I think that they are going to, they're going to put like a decent offer out there for him. He does get injured some, you know, and you know he had some hiccups throughout his career, but he's still available.
Mhm.
So that makes me think that they are still in the running.
Right. Yeah, I mean Keller though, if he goes to the bullpen, he's essentially going to be your setup man for Duran. If he goes to the bullpen, otherwise he's probably going to be your number 5 starter because he figured something out last year.
What did I hear about Durant?
So I thought it was something with a shoulder.
Did I hear that they may have traded him, or
No,
were
they
thinking
didn't. They
about trading
didn't.
him?
They didn't trade him. Depending on how free agency goes, they may trade him at some point this season.
Yeah, he wasn't as exciting as I thought he'd be.
No, and that was the thing. I think the Phillies said, "Did we give up too much for him?"
Yeah, I agree with that.
And that's where Brad Keller comes in too, because he's that insurance policy there too, because he has closed games in the past where if the Phillies do want to dangle Duran out there, then you just slide Keller to the closer role if it doesn't work out as a starter. Because a guy came into the league throwing 94, 95, and all of a sudden last year he's throwing 98, 99.
That's good. Some good vitamins.
Yeah.
That's the Lenny Dykstra approach. But, anyways, I just I have to say this. I actually hope Seattle loses today.
Okay.
Wow.
So the reason why I hope Seattle loses is if by chance Seattle wins, I think that just about locks us into the number 3 spot. For some reason, I feel like that's
Mm-mm. 'Cause you have-
Why would that be?
Yeah, how many losses do you have right now, Pigs? 4 or 5?
5.
Yeah, I mean the Bears have the Packers, the Niners, and the Lions their last 3 games.
Yeah.
The Bears aren't winning out.
Right, but they'd have to win out. Or they'd have to lose out for us to jump them.
No, they only have if you would go 3-0 and the Bears go 1-2, you jump them.
No, we don't.
The Bears
Because they beat us head to head.
Yeah, they have 4 losses though. So if the Bears lose on Saturday and you win on Saturday, you both have 5 losses. They're ahead of you. If the Bears would lose week 17 to get 6 losses and you win week 17, then you have 5 losses and you jump them.
Got ya. For some reason, I'm thinking we're going to wind up in the. I don't mind being in the 3 spot, but that automatically means that we're going to have an away game. Short of, yeah, it would mean that we have an away game.
And the thing that you have to realize too, if the Bears lose to the Packers on Saturday, that's a tiebreaker you have over the Packers too. So like the Bears really have to win 2 of their last 3, and then essentially if they win 2 of their last 3, you're locked into the 3 seed. But if the Bears go 1-2, which is possible when you look at their schedule, because you have the Niners who are still fighting for the division, you have the Lions in Week 18 who are still going to be fighting for the playoffs at that spot. The Bears have a much tougher road than the Eagles do.
Yeah, I mean, realistically, the way this is probably going to be,
Bears could play their way out of the playoffs yet.
like either the Rams or the Hawks get the number 1, and then the West will have the 5th and 6th spot.
Yeah.
It's that 6th spot that makes me a little nervous. So
The 6th spot will realistically probably be the Niners.
that's what we're thinking. That's what I was thinking. And I think that that's a tough game for the Eagles. Not that the Rams aren't a tough game either. You know,
There's not an easy game there.
No. This is the first time I think in a long time where you could say the NFC is the better of the 2 conferences.
Oh, easily.
Yeah, like it's always been the AFC because you've always had the Chiefs, you've had the Bills, you've had the Ravens. Like the Ravens are bad this year, but like you've always had those 3 teams that were so good in the AFC. But then like the wild card teams last year in the AFC were better for the most part than the NFC. This year in the NFC, you're going to have a 10-win team, possibly an 11-win team miss the playoffs.
Yeah, I wouldn't necessarily say the AFC was the better conference. They had a few better teams.
Yeah.
The NFC just tends to be a more balanced conference.
Yeah. Yes.
But the NFC wins a lot of Super Bowls. So
yeah, like this year the NFC is not only balanced, but it's like 6 or even
it's deep.
8 teams deep that are balanced.
Yeah, no, it's the NFC definitely has a lot of depth as far as good teams. And then especially when you think of defense. I mean, outside of the Texans, there's no defenses on the AFC side that I think are amazing.
No, not really. I mean, the Chargers are solid, not like elite, but they're solid. The Patriots defense for the most part is solid, but it's not elite.
Exactly. Whereas you go over to the NFC side,
Rams are elite, Seahawks are elite, Eagles are elite, Packers are elite. Like, yeah.
Yeah, no, the defenses on the NFC side are no joke. Like if I were throwing money on it, I'd be looking at the NFC to win.
Yeah, defense wins championships.
Exactly.
And the only defense really that's playing in the AFC, I mean, I guess you could you can't even say the Patriots. I would say there's Denver.
Denver has a great defense. The Texans have the best defense in the league.
That defense in Houston is absolutely scary.
Yeah, no, their defense is no joke.
Yeah, I still don't trust CJ Stroud. However, I do trust him more than like some of the other quarterbacks. But
yeah, no. I'm not saying they're a complete team. I'm just saying their defense is awesome.
Right. No, and that's part of the reason why they keep winning games.
Oh yeah. No question. Yeah, because there's definitely been some games their defense won because the offense didn't arrive.
What does a Donna mean by that changes once they reorganize the divisions? When are they going to reorganize the divisions?
They are not.
I haven't heard
that stuff is all AI stuff. So don't worry about that, Donna.
No, the only thing that's potentially realigning divisions is the NBA. When they do their expansion, they may shift some stuff and change the conferences. Or change the divisions, I should say.
Yeah, they were talking about, if they did everything by region in comparison, that it would be like the Patriots, the Giants, the Jets, and then you'd have like Buffalo, Pittsburgh, Cleveland, and Detroit.
Well, they
the Great Lakes.
Yeah, they did that. They did something like that on NFL Network, I think last weekend, where somebody brought it up, and they said the only division, if they reorganize the divisions like in that regional map type of thing, the only division that would not change is the NFC North. That would be the only division that stays the same. Otherwise, all the
Yeah.
other divisions would have teams that are different.
No, they've speculated it for years because of teams that have moved that make the divisions not make a ton of sense. But yeah, I mean they're not doing any of that.
No.
And they're not expanding anytime soon. The organizations that are expanding, MLB, NBA, those are the only ones that potentially change their conference layout or division layout, because then it'll mirror more of what the NFL does because of the number of teams that would then be in those leagues.
Mm-hmm. Like Peg's division would be the Steelers, the Eagles, the Ravens, and the Commanders. If they would
No, it wouldn't be.
That's what they said on NFL. That's what they had on NFL Network.
So, Donna, you will hear about this just about every year. Whenever the news gets slow, they bring this up because there is a misalignment as far as team locations. So you can always tell when this gets brought up. It's just a slow news day. So
because then they had the Colts, the Bengals, the Browns, and the Titans in the one division, because that's kind of like all in that little area there. Then it was the Eagles, Steelers, Ravens, Commanders, because they're all there.
Yep.
And then then it was the 3 Florida teams in Atlanta in the one division. And then it was Houston, Dallas, New Orleans, and then Carolina was kind of the throw-in in that division just because Carolina is kind of between Florida and the Washington teams. And then Bo's division, I think it was Seattle, Denver, Vegas, and Arizona, I think, in Bo's division.
No, it would have been
Seattle, Denver for sure. Yeah, Seattle, Denver, Vegas, San Fran. Then it was LA, Arizona.
Yep.
And then the other AFC West team that got into the other one.
Colorado, probably.
Kansas City or something like that, yeah. No, yeah, Kansas. It was Seattle, Kansas City, Denver, and San Francisco. Then it was Vegas, Arizona, LA.
Kansas City would go in more in the Texas realm.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Well, that's where the 2 throwing teams came, because you had Texas, you have Houston, Dallas, New Orleans, which are right there, and then Carolina.
I figure Colorado, like Denver, LA, and Arizona makes sense to me if that was that region, because then you have San Francisco, Seattle, Vegas, and
so the way they were talking about it,
Kansas City.
because I just brought the map up. So they were saying Seattle, San Fran, LA. Then it would be Vegas, Arizona, Colorado, KC.
Okay.
It would be Houston, Dallas, New Orleans, Tennessee.
Okay.
You'd have the Colts, the Bears, Green Bay, Vikings, Atlanta, Jags, all the Florida teams.
Yes.
Then you'd have the Bengals, Ravens, Washington, and Panthers. You'd go Buffalo, Lions, Browns, Pittsburgh, and then you'd go Philly, New York, Boston. So
that Florida division would be a barn burner every year. Holy moly!
Yeah, it'd be an
up until this year with Jacksonville being good, that would have been the division where an 8-9 team is coming out every year.
But yeah, so that they listed it as the Pacific Division because makes sense.
Right.
But
right, like the Great Lakes Division is what I figured about that. Like you're including Pittsburgh, which doesn't quite hit the lake, but
yeah.
Buffalo,
So that's what they
Cleveland, Detroit.
The name of those divisions was Pacific, Big Sky, South Atlantic, Mid Atlantic, Northeast, Great Lakes, and Great Lakes West. So
how would the playoffs then work at that point?
Well, you'd still have a conference difference, right?
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So you'd still be in that. You're just realigning how the teams fall in it.
Yeah, what the hell? NFL wants to change everything anyways. Why not? Let's throw it out there, see what happens.
Yeah, they're not doing any of that.
I know, but I just
No.
said they cheat. They want to change the rules all the time, anyways. Let's just throw that out there.
They are not going to separate the biggest rivalry in sports. That's the Eagles versus the Cowboys.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It has been officially named the biggest rivalry in sports. And it's funny because I always thought that it was like Eagles Giants, but that's number 3.
Mhm.
With Packers Bears being number 2 in sports. Like, and that includes, like, when you're talking all of sports, you're also talking like Manchester United versus Liverpool.
Yep.
I want to know how the Eagles and the Cowboys got above them.
Because it's the Cowboys, they have to stay relevant somehow.
It's always just, America's game.
It's
the battle for America.
It's the amount of money they pump into the marketing machine, I think, is really what does it.
Well, that could be.
Which, I mean, if it works, right?
Hey,
Right?
I'm all right with it. You know, it doesn't make me do anything other than go to the games. So
Exactly.
I mean,
of course, no parking.
Since you just brought up the Packers and Bears briefly there because of the rivalry, there's a chance that the Chicago Bears may not be called the Chicago Bears anymore. So they've been looking for a new stadium now for the last year and a half.
Okay.
And they initially had Arlington Heights picked out as the place to go because they have the horse racing track at Arlington Heights. So the Bears bought all that land. They were going to build a stadium there. Now they're having trouble funding the land they purchased, so that stadium project is now off the table. So Kevin Warren, who's the president, said, well, we're going to look at the city of Chicago and see if the city of Chicago will be willing to help us build a stadium. The city of Chicago does not want to help pay for any of the stadium. So as of this morning, the Bears are looking for a stadium in Indiana.
Interesting.
Northwest Indiana, between Gary, Indiana, and South Bend, Indiana. They are looking to build their next stadium, and if they move to Indiana, they will no longer be called the Chicago Bears.
Well, I mean, yeah.
That talk about a massive history blow to the NFL for when you have one of the more historic franchises.
Well, yeah, one of the originals. That's
Like that would
There is
be
no chance. There is no chance that's going to occur.
they already have the site and the money for it.
Yeah, I'm saying that there's zero chance of that.
You know, it's funny because I like to agree with you, but I kind of don't.
Like the Bears have had the Arlington Heights Stadium basically picked out since 2022 when Kevin Warren took over the team. Like, this is where he wanted to put the stadium and made it easiest. And now they can't get the funding. Arlington Heights doesn't want to help with the funding because they don't want all of the traffic, all this other stuff heading into this area because it's like basically like Green Bay. It's not a massively big city. So Arlington Heights said, like, we don't want the stadium here. So then they go to Chicago. Well, you know how Chicago is. Like, you don't have a lot of room in Chicago to build a stadium. Like, what's there is what's there. You can't just start tearing things down to build a stadium. Like, you don't have all this room in the world in Chicago to build a stadium.
I mean, the only reason I say that they could move is there was a different team in Chicago originally anyway.
Yeah.
It was the Cardinals.
Yep.
So, I mean, it's not like they don't let historic teams move.
It's and Kevin Warren is a Chicago guy too. Like, he was the commissioner of the Big Ten for like 15 years. Big Ten is based out of Chicago. He's been a Chicago guy for a while. So if he's looking at going into Northwest Indiana to build a stadium, that's kind of when you know, like, it's not a good situation because you're a Chicago guy running the Chicago Bears, and now you're going out of not only the city of Chicago, but out of the state of Illinois to try to build this stadium because you can't get the funding you want to keep it in state.
it would be crazy. Like I don't disagree with that. Like it would be insane. But I wouldn't rule it out.
Yeah, like this isn't like the Giants and Jets that play in East Rutherford, New Jersey, where it's like a 10-minute drive from New York City. Like this is like a legitimate over an hour drive outside of the city of Chicago to a different state and time.
Yeah. That would be interesting.
Yeah, the Pope is
I don't
from
think it
Chicago. There's no chance.
Put it in Rome. Put it at the Roman Coliseum. The Rome Bears.
Yeah, I don't think it happens either, but it would be interesting.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds great to talk about right now. That's about it. You know what I mean? But short of that, I think there's zero chance of that occurring. Like I said, I think that they'd have divine intervention and the Pope would step in and be like, what? No, not happening. God damn it. I knew that spot was going to disappear.
But yeah, that's exactly how the Pope would say it too. No, not happening. God damn it.
The spot that I was coming around for got taken.
Parking in the city is always super fun.
Especially in Wilmington.
Are you Wilmington?
I'm in Wilmington right now.
Yes.
Right on.
So,
That does get us to the top of the show. If you are watching, be sure to like and subscribe. Otherwise, we are going to get out of here. Hope you enjoy the rest of your day. Definitely check out Thursday Night Football. If you're here in the Seattle area, come out to Crucible Brewing, support the kids, watch some football, have a beer. Otherwise, we'll see y'all tomorrow. Take it easy, everybody.